without fear. There's no bravery, never cry.
Isn't that lovely whenever you record a 35-minute episode only to realize that your internet connection dropped out at some point and stopped recording? Let's go, baby! Welcome to heavybaghero, where the internet never works. Hey, bud. Oh, that's all right. We'll just do it all again. I'm sure I can remember it verbatim. I didn't ramble on a whole lot about a whole bunch of different things. Pretty excited about that episode, actually. I talked about a lot of different things. Hey, come here. Come lay down. Everybody say hello to Knox. He's my little puppy dog. He ain't little and he's not a puppy. He's 9 years old this year. He is an old man. I think he just went and got in my bed. Love that dog. He's the greatest thing that ever happened to me besides my girlfriend. There it is again. Internet connection issues. Jeez. All right, we're going to keep a close eye on it this time. I don't think I'm going to be able to close this page or go share my screen or anything like that. Oh. Anyways, welcome back. Wanted to do an episode tonight. Just got back from men's Bible study, baby. Getting the Word of God. Studying the Sermon on the Mount. It's been great. But wanted to come back. There have just been some crazy fight announcements. Wanted to go over UFC 322, the fight night this weekend. It's going to be really good. UFC is closing out the year strong before they get into that Paramount deal. And supposedly the Paramount pay-per-view opener is going to be nuts. Rumblings of Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje, which totally makes sense in the lightweight division. I think that absolutely makes sense. And then hopefully JDM loses, and if Ilia wins, well, really, I'll take it either way. Ilia or Justin, Islam comes back down, fights one of those two, whoever wins. I think either one of them have the power to put his lights out. So I'm just big ups on Ilia, even though he's freaking killed all my guys. But yeah, UFC, let's see who we've got this weekend. Let's see who we got. I know we have Renair de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. But actually, it's a really good fight card. I am very excited about it. All right, now that I think about it, I'm looking at my screen. It literally says the word stop to stop recording. And I watched my screen almost the whole time, and it said record. I'm an idiot. I'm a huge moron. Nobody look at me. Anyways, yeah, we've got de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. That'll be a really good fight. De Ridder's coming up. He just got the win over Robert Whittaker. I only know that because I just basically laid out this entire card earlier when I wasn't recording. And then Brendan Allen just got the win over Marvin Vettori after coming a few back-to-back losses, I believe. So this should be a really good fight. Brendan Allen, his come-up was pretty insane. He was on a pretty long streak before I think he got stopped. Let's go see who he got stopped by, because I can't remember, even though I just looked at it. Isn't that awesome? Don't you love that? Yeah, Imavov and Anthony Hernandez. Both great fighters. Both guys are at the top right now, waiting for their title shot. So I really think, Imavov, I'll give it to Imavov. He deserves the title shot. He's been killing legends, so... I say killing legends, not killing legends, but he's been doing really well. I think he deserves a title shot. Don't know when he's going to get it. I forgot what division this is. Middleweight? Yeah, and then he lost to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez by unanimous decision, and then he beat Marvin Vettori by unanimous decision. I can't really figure out Brendan Allen's style. I felt for a while he was kind of just like this vicious jiu-jitsu guy, and then I don't really know. I don't really know what he did after that. So... de Ridder, though, he had his most notable win over Bo Nickel, took his 0 away, made him not undefeated anymore. So it'll be really good. Great record, too. 21-2 as a professional fighter. I think he's got 5. This will be his 5th fight in the UFC. So he's beat, notable names. Obviously, Robert Whittaker. He beat Kevin Holland, and he also beat Bo Nickel. So should be a really good fight. I imagine that de Ridder is going to come out pretty hot and aggressive and use his length and keep Brendan Allen against the fence. And Brendan Allen has to use his jiu-jitsu as much as he can. Truly. Needs to take him down, wear him out, and use his jiu-jitsu as much as he can. So, should be a really good fight. Then we've got Kevin Holland versus Mike Mallet after that. That'll just be a fun fight, as it is with Kevin Holland. That's what he does. He puts on entertaining fights. Almost lost my mic there. Puts on entertaining fights. But unfortunately, Mike Mallet is only known for one thing and one thing only, and that's when he was dominating Neil Magny for 3 rounds and then decided he got tired and let Magny TKO him. So, sorry, Mike. That was a fantastic win to watch because it was America versus USA, so I hope Kevin Holland gets the win here as well in a notable fashion. So, that's going to be a really good fight. And then my personal main event, because I love this guy, Marlon Chito Vera versus Ayman Zahibi. I think I saw a clip from Zahibi today where he's talking about, like, I love that Merab is fighting as much as he is because it's giving me the opportunity to get closer to the title. Because he's just keeping the division going, and he's not lying. Like, he just put out Corey Sandhagen, he put out Sean O'Malley, he put out Umar. And so it's like if Zahibi just like wins a couple more, he's probably in title contention. So hilarious comment, but also a really good comment. But then Marlon Chito Vera, I freaking love this guy, dude. One of the things I was saying earlier is just like what I love the most about Chito Vera is that he is not a point fighter. He is not a point fighter type of fighter. He's not looking to win rounds, really. He's just like, I'm going to look for an opportunity to kill you, and I'm going to get that opportunity. And usually, like, most guys, like, it's kind of a weird thing. You get those kind of fights where they're kind of flukes and just, like, a really unlucky thing happened to one fighter and a very lucky thing happened to another fighter. Like, for instance, Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva. Probably the best example. Chael dominated that entire fight. Ended up getting caught in a triangle choke. Anderson won the title. Or defended the title, I guess. Things like that happen. But with Chito, it's like, he doesn't really get beat up, but it's pretty clear points-wise, his opponent is winning the fight. And then he's just like, all right, found my opening. Here's a knee to your jaw. KO. And I think Chito is so technical. I think he's really good at wrestling. I think he's really good at jiu-jitsu. He is just like, something to note about Chito, this is going to be a little sus, but he is unbelievably flexible. Like, his mobility is insane. You know, he throws kicks from everywhere, doesn't, out of whatever stance he wants. He's got great distance management, really good defense. He gets hit a lot, but he just, like, wears no damage. I think the first time I ever saw him wear damage was versus Sean O'Malley in that title fight, which was absolutely nuts, but also another great example of him just getting dominated and almost got the win with that body kick or that body shot at the very end of the fight versus Sean O'Malley. So love seeing Chito Vera come back. Really love the guy. After that, we've got Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine. Very interesting name. Jasudavakis, Canadian versus the French woman in Fiorot. Should be an interesting fight, number 2 versus number 5. I imagine Fiorot's going to dominate. She's been doing really well. She just lost the title fight versus Shevchenko, as all women do who go up against Shevchenko. I'm not super interested in this fight. And then don't know these two fighters for the next one in the bantamweight, but I imagine it's going to be a banger because it's bantamweight. Bantamweight always is. Kyle Nelson and Matt Frivola. Really excited to see Matt Frivola come back. He had that brutal knockout versus BSD. And then he got knocked out in his last fight. I can't remember the guy's name, but he got knocked out in that one too, and that was a year ago. So he hasn't fought in some time. Oh my goodness. Sorry, everybody. It's late. I already recorded one of these. Really excited to see him come back. Kyle Nelson's just kind of one of those journeymen in lightweight that he always puts on a good fight. So Charles Jourdain is another notable name in the bantamweight division, fighting in the prelims. Bruno Silva, he's not fighting Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva's the fight before. And then you got your boy Drew Dober. He's down there in the prelims, as he always is. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great card. I think it's going to be a really good card. So I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, the UFC is shaping up to be amazing to end the year and then going into the Paramount deal. So really pumped about that. After fight night, the following week, October 25th, Aspinall versus Gane. Is that? Yeah, that's the following week. Aspinall versus Gane. We've already gone over that card. Garcia versus Onama. I'm going to see if there's any notable names. I don't think there were ones to go over. Phil Rowe, he's on this card. Yeah, really no one on this card. But those are the ones you're like, I'm not going to watch this because I don't know anyone, and then they end up being like all insane fights. Then you got Bonfim versus Brown. I've seen Bonfim fight, but I don't really know what his story is. Number 14, Randy Rude Boy Brown is not ranked. Then really I don't see any other super notable names. They haven't finished that card fully yet. Tarsukian versus Hooker. Am I crazy for thinking that Arman takes this pretty easily? I don't know. Let me know. Send me a DM or comment on this or something. I feel like Arman just takes this easily. Like Dan Hooker, what was his last fight? It wasn't versus Jalen. He fought Gamrot, which I thought Gamrot won that fight for sure. And then Jalen Turner, that was just a barn burner. Very fun to watch. But he had some unfortunate losses in a row. It was really just Makachev and Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen beat the brakes off of him. That was insane. And then he got all those tattoos and came back. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Really, going back, I need to watch that fight again maybe, but I swear Gamrot won that fight. Like when they announced that Dan Hooker won it, I was like, what? Yeah. 88 strikes to 82. Dan Hooker had 82. 5 takedowns by Gamrot. I don't think they do control time. 64 significant strikes to 65. So it was close, but it was like the 5 takedowns by Gamrot I thought were very significant. But I think Hooker had some pretty big moments, like almost KO and Gamrot, who unfortunately just lost to the GOAT. Oh, hold on a second. Missed something here. May have missed this fight announcement. Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Heavybag Heroes. Dana White hasn't announced this yet that I know of, but Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary, number 1 versus number 6. This will be a good fight, hopefully. I would love to see. This is the thing about Machado Gary. Okay? Actually, this is a terrible fight, now that I think about it. It's going to be very boring. Bilal's going to want to wrestle. He's got to get back to his roots so he can get a win. He's going to try and kill some of his pride, not strike. We all know what Ian Machado Gary is capable of, but he just never does it. He just wants to go to the clinch and play the clinch game. So this fight is actually like Adolf versus Stalin, if I'm going to be honest. That's kind of what I see. Hate both of these guys, truly. If y'all want to come on the podcast and absolutely roast me, would love that, please. But huge hater of Bilal Muhammad and Ian Machado Gary. So this is actually a great fight, now that I think about it, because I hate both of them, and I'd love to see one of the, if they put on a great fight, that would actually be awesome. So let's see what else we got. We have Volkan Odizamir versus Alonzo Menifield. Should be pretty good. Orlabal versus Jack Hermanson. That should be pretty good. Oh, we got Ilia Topuria's brother, Alexandre Topuria versus Almakan. Who else we got here? Spivak versus Gazeev. That should be a pretty good one. A little heavyweight ranked fight. So, yeah, looks like a pretty good November fight card. November 22nd. No, I won't be there. I'm going to Vegas in November, but I don't think they have any Vegas cards until, while I'm there. Unfortunately. Then you've got Davishvili versus Yan 2. I think this is, is this the card I wanted to go over? No, it wasn't. The Islam card was. Let me back up real quick. Okay. We have not talked about the Della Maddalena versus Makachev card. I don't know why I jumped over that. I must have just missed it. So I'm going to go through the main card right now, point out all the notables, and then I'm going to go through fight by fight because I think it's really important to do that. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam for the welterweight title. Islam is coming up from the lightweight division after having a very dominant run, which I'm going to talk about because I think it's got a huge jumbo asterisk next to it, next to the word dominant, versus Jack Della Maddalena, who just beat the brakes off of Bilal Muhammad to get the belt. That's going to be a banger. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Wei Li. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. That was announced recently, and I'm super excited about this fight. And I will circle back to why it's a great fight. Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Never heard of that guy. I've probably seen him fight maybe on a prelim or something, but never heard of him. Of course, Bo Nickel's getting another cupcake fight. But he's on the prelims, supposedly this time. So then we've got Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. The reason I say he's on the prelims, even though it doesn't show it on the UFC's website, someone posted him being on the prelims from the UFC card. May not be correct. Who knows? He may be on the main event. Anyways, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Going to be an absolute banger. Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Another banger. Benoit Saint Denis. Sorry, Benoit. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. RoboCop. That'll be a good one. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Should be a pretty good women's fight. Kyle Dawkins versus Jared Mearshart. Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. And then I can't say this guy. I think Bassinger Susukrev versus Eric Mikoniko. There's actually a really cool story behind Susukrev that I'll talk about in a second. Okay, so here we go. Starting with Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. I'm going to go ahead and start with why Islam's title reign is, for lack of better terms, fraudulent. Fraudulent isn't a good word. It's just got a huge asterisk next to it. And it's not his fault, and I don't blame him, and I think Islam's a really great guy. I just hate that he celebrates fights like he celebrates the Moicano win like he did something huge. Like, the Dustin Poirier win was... He can celebrate that one. I'll give him that one. Even though Dustin was kind of at the end of his career, he absolutely drug him into deep waters, and Islam was able to pull it off. But Dustin... Oh, Dustin. If I could go back in time and tell you what you needed to do, we could have been a great team together. I love you, Dustin, so much. And absolute crazy glazing going on right now. But, and again, the only reason I know this is because I just did this. Out of Islam's last 7 fights, 4 of them were short notice, like 10 days or less. You had the Volkanovski fight, Bobby Green, Dan Hooker was a late fight. Then you had the Moicano fight that was a late fight. Now, to be fair, Moicano trained, and he had a full camp, but he was not training for Makhachev. So, it's just tough. It's tough to say he's got a good title run when he really doesn't. It's just got too many asterisks by it. Like, took Volk, Volk arguably won that first fight, gets the opportunity at the second with 0 camp, and gets head kick KO'd, changed the course of UFC history. Charles Oliveira, gosh, dude, put some pads on when you train. The Moicano fight, Arman being a freaking dummy trying to impress Nina, hurts his back, backs out of the fight. Gosh, Arman is so lame. Great fighter, but just not a notable story. He's just super rich, and so all he's done is train MMA his whole life. So there's just nothing really notable there. Like, it's not like you're not gonna make a documentary about that guy. You make a documentary about a Dustin Poirier type. That's what you do. So I think this is gonna be a fantastic fight. Jack Della just went against the Islam Makhachev of his division, being Bilal Muhammad. Insane wrestling credentials. Pretty much only known for his wrestling in the same fashion that Islam is, except with Bilal, you take away any submission attempts. And I think that is insane. There is 0 submission threat from Bilal when you fight him. And that is nuts to me. Literally, like, I remember John Anik. I can't remember who Bilal was fighting. It might have been the Leon Edwards fight. But Bilal kept getting to his back very easily. And John Anik was just like, yeah, pretty much no submission threat from Bilal. He has no submissions. So Leon shouldn't be worried about getting his neck taken. So anyways, Islam obviously is a submission god. Fairly decent with his hands, but compared to Jack, he is a child, an infant. It is coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb when it comes to Islam Makhachev's hands versus Jack Della Maddalena. Sorry if you guys can hear the train in the background. But really, like, keys to success here. Jack Della Maddalena has to walk Islam down. He's got to be throwing jabs. He's got to be throwing teep kicks. He's got to be throwing leg kicks. I think that always pays dividends. If you can blast leg kicks, takes a ton of strength from a wrestler. And just keep walking him forward. Like, I feel like every time we see the wrestler Dagestani type, they have so much success because they always get their opponent to back up for whatever reason. I think primarily it's like if I engage in the clinch with this guy, he's going to be able to get me to the ground somehow. But truly, like, these Dagestani guys and these wrestling types, they have to use the fence. They are not good at going from the clinch to getting a takedown. Jack Dell is amazing in the clinch, so I think he needs to walk forward, prepare for a lot of dirty boxing, throwing elbows, throwing knees, doing things to make Islam uncomfortable and getting him hurt. But he just cannot back up. He cannot back up. That's what Dustin did. When Dustin had success was when he was walking forward. When Justin had success versus Khabib is when he was walking forward. It's just like you cannot back up against these Dagestani types because they want to wrestle you into the fence and pin you up against the fence so they can get their hands clasped and then start wrestling you. Just can't do it. So Jack's got to establish that early, and he has to keep the pressure on him. If he can do that, Islam will look like a child in the ring. He will be like a lost little boy. So, how do I know all this? What's my experience? I just did 3 5-minute rounds in my garage gym with my heavy bag, and the whole time I was just thinking about what Jack needed to do. So, no, not really. Just honestly, my observations of watching UFC for the past 10 years, 12 years, maybe almost 15 years. I don't know. But yeah, I think just Jack, he just can't walk backwards. I feel like that is always the key to success with an Islam Makhachev type. Is you just cannot walk backwards. You have to be pressing forward. You have to be throwing jabs. You have to be doing some sort of kicks, throwing stuff up the middle. And I just think blasting leg kicks pays dividends, but it also like really exposes you to the, like, if Islam's willing to eat them, he's going to be able to shoot the double leg takedown. But staying behind the jab, throwing the teep kicks with the front leg, that's huge. Keeps, Islam may grab the foot, but it's just like you got to be able to take those risks. I think that's just what's so scary for these guys, like Dustin Poirier too, is like the jab's always there with the wrestler. The jab will always be there. Keep it thrown out in front of their face. Like if all else fails, throw the jab. But it's like when you start going down to one leg, you're like, okay, he may take this and run with it. And then it just kind of discourages them from throwing it for the next time. But I feel like you just have to throw it with conviction. You have to throw the feints to get them to back up. Like throw the jab, throw the teep kick, right? Or throw the knee. Engage. Like do not be afraid to engage in the clinch with these guys. So really excited about this fight. I think it's going to be a banger. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. Islam really, like, he's put on some great fights. I'll give him that. But it's more so because we're, like, cheering for the other guy, and Islam's, like, looking like he's about to die, and then the other guy almost pulls it off, and then they end up not giving it to him. Whatever. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. This will be fun. The most notable women's fight, and probably the only one I'll watch. Freaking love these ladies. I think Weili is coming up from flyweight to well, hold on a second. This says flyweight title bout. That can't be right. Surely that can't be right. Yeah, because I thought anyways, whatever. Someone's moving up, someone's moving down. Should be a really good fight. I imagine it's probably going to stay no, hold on, let me back up. I don't think it's going to stay on the feet. I think that Shevchenko is going to try and impose her will on Weili with the wrestling. But Weili's a fantastic scrambler. She did in her last fight with Zhang, not Zhang. I forgot what her name is. One of the other Chinese fighters in that weight division. There was a lot of wrestling in that fight, but I think Zhang primarily had the advantage. The way Lee had the advantage the whole time. So, but this is like what Shevchenko does. She just goes in there and she wants to dominate. She's like, I don't think she cares about putting on a show. I think she just wants to show that she's truly the baddest in the world, and she really is. So I kind of think Valentino, like if I'm going to put my money on it, I'm going to put it on Valentino just for having the size advantage and the wrestling advantage and the grappling advantage. So, and then moving down to Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Okay, so this was announced like today or yesterday. I can't remember. I think it is a great fight to make considering where the rankings are at, and they're waiting for JDM versus Islam to shake out. Sean Brady at number 2 arguably needs one more fight before he gets that title shot because he's only had 2 wins, I believe, since his loss to Bilal. Sorry, he's had 3. That was not kind of me to say. Beat Gaslam with a submission in round 3 back in 2023. Good Lord, it's been since 2022 since he fought Bilal. I felt that was way recently. Burns versus Brady went 5 rounds, and then he got the submission win versus Edwards. He absolutely dominated Edwards in that fight, by the way. So maybe he needs one more, but also it kind of feels like he's just trying to stay active because if Islam wins this, Islam's going to disappear off the face of the earth for like a year and a half before he comes back to defend the belt, which is super annoying. Hate that he does that, especially when you got a Merab that's like, yo, fight number 4, let's go. But Michael Morales, dangerous up-and-comer, number 8 versus number 2 in Sean Brady. I think Michael Morales is a much more dangerous, explosive, sporadic fighter, where Brady's like a super technical, very skilled fighter, and I think that's probably going to get him the win in this. I feel like Morales is kind of like just kind of shoots from the hip, does what he does. Where Brady's like, I feel like Brady is like a film studier. This is my game plan. I stick to my game plan. This is what we're going to do to dominate the fight because if I don't get the finish, I want to win the rounds, right? That's the mindset. Like I think I was talking earlier about, Cheeto Vera and his fighting style. Sean Brady is like I'm going to win the rounds if all else fails, but I want to go for the finish kind of guy. Really appreciate that about him. Michael Morales, just crazy guy. Love him. Then you've got Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. I hope that goes down to the prelims. Don't really care for Bo Nickel right now. Actually, that's so mean. Bo, I love you, dude. If you're watching this, if you happen to catch a clip of this, I do love you. Come on and tell me how wrong I am about all of these takes. Please. I would love it. And then got Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. I think Leon Edwards he's working his way out of the UFC. I do not think Leon Edwards wants to be in the UFC sometimes the way he fights. Like the Bilal fight, it just seemed like he did not care. He got the whole motivational speech that he got versus Usman, but like, mind you, he was losing to Usman that first fight, the whole fight, and then just got that head kick off. And I don't know if he's like trying to be like a Cheeto Vera, but there's only one Cheeto Vera, son. And you just can't do that. So I think Leon Edwards is working his way out of the UFC. I think he's gonna lose this fight to Carlos Prates, who is a hungry up and comer who wants to win gold, has a lot to prove, got a chip on his shoulder, and he's got the length and he's got the size advantage. And I don't think Leon's gonna be able to deal with it. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how he approaches Carlos Prates because Prates is after that last fight. I'm sure he's motivated. Sorry, everybody. I'm sure he's motivated and ready to go. So, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates is going to be good. Carlos Prates is just going to use his length. He's going to use his distance and just absolutely pick him apart until he gets the opportunity to get him up against the fence and then throw an elbow or a spinning elbow or a knee or something crazy. So, that'll be a really good fight. Then we've got Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Saint-Denis just got off of a win. Beneil took a lot of time off from his last fight. If I'm not mistaken, let's confirm. Yeah. Okay. I completely missed this fight. Had no idea that Dariush fought Moicano back in June. He got the win. Man, maybe I did watch that. I'm not sure. So, good to see Beneil coming back after getting KO'd by Charles. And then he got KO'd by... Who did he get KO'd by? Arman? Yeah. KO'd by Charles. KO'd by Arman. He also got viciously knocked out one time, and I can't remember who. Was it Klaus? No, Klaus was that crazy fight. That's like one of the craziest UFC highlights. Go search Beneil Dariush versus Klaus and see one of the craziest comebacks. I think Klaus had him on the ropes, and Dariush just throws this haymaker right hand that knocks Klaus back, and then he chases after him and punches him so hard his mouthpiece flies out, knocks him out. So this will be a really good fight. Lightweight fights are always banging. Super excited about it. We'll see how Benoit comes back. Obviously, he struggled heavily versus Moicano and Dustin Poirier after previously being the boogeyman of the division for about 11 seconds before Dustin Poirier knocked his lights out. Let's go. The diamond, baby. So this will be a really good fight if Beneil can get to the chin. So I imagine it's going to be stand up, absolute brawl. They're going to be throwing like crazy. Beneil's going to lure him into the fence and then just throw that huge right hand. So then we've got Roman Kopylov, who has kind of fallen from grace, versus Gregory Rodriguez, Mr. RoboCop journeyman. RoboCop's a beast. Love Rodriguez. This will be a really good fight. It's going to be like some pretty high-level striking. Kopylov is a fantastic striker, and it's crazy to say that as a Russian. I don't know if he's Dagestani, but he like doesn't wrestle at all. He wants to strike, and he throws and kicks hard. Like it is, you hear it every time he does it. And so really excited about that one. That should be a really great fight in the prelims. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. I bet against Blanchfield once, and I'm not going to do that again. So I think Blanchfield takes it. How? No idea. It's probably going to go to decision. And the rest of the fights, not super notable, except for this first fight, Susukrev. Just in case you don't know about this guy, he fought on the Dana White Contender Series. Took a short notice fight, literally as short as it gets, that Saturday. He fought on Tuesday, came and fought on the card on Saturday versus Eric Nolan, who they pulled up from the regional circuit, who was a champion, I believe. And the odds were crazy, like minus 1,200 for Susukrev, plus 1,100 or something like that for Eric Nolan. Well, Susukrev comes out and is like, I'm going to dominate this guy. He's playing with this food, and Eric Nolan was just like locked in and keeps getting to Susukrev's chin, and he's kind of laughing with him, blah, blah, blah. Hey, good shot, good shot. And then Eric Nolan just starts beating the crap out of him. He just got locked in, rocked him several times. Susukrev resorted to wrestling. They wrestle around for a little bit. End of the round comes. Nolan gets back up and starts beating the brakes off of Susukrev. Almost gets the KO. They come out of that round, get into the second round. Somehow Susukrev gets like a kick or a body shot off that just folded Nolan, and he like tried to stay in the fight. He couldn't. He almost got back up and made it happen, but I think Susukrev got him to the ground and ended up getting the submission or TKO or something like that. But Eric Nolan, you're a beast, dude. I think he's a former Marine. I would love to have you on here and talk UFC with you. So hopefully he's got another fight. He totally earned a contract, in my opinion. Or at least on Dana White Contender Series. For coming in short notice and fighting some guy you're minus 1,200 against, that's insane. So, really good fight card. November 15th, UFC 322. As we get closer, I'm sure I'll do another one about it. But I was mostly just super pumped for the fight announcements they made. Like, they made Davishvili versus Jan 2 this week. I think that'll be awesome. I think it'll be a really good fight. Supposedly, both guys were at 50% whenever they fought the first time. That's why Davishvili shot 46 times, 46 takedowns. Who does that? In their fight, and Jan was like sick or something. So they're both coming in, hopefully both 100% healed. We'll see if 4 fights in a year, if Davishvili can pull it off. If he does, he's got to go up to like number 1 pound for pound. Like, his resume is insane right now. He's taken out a ton of contenders. Like, there's almost no one left. I mean, the Jan fight made the most sense. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how long that Merab can keep this up. I imagine someone's going to come up and stop him. But I don't know. 4 fights in a year is nuts. So, really good way to close out the year. Rumblings of Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje to open the Paramount deal. That would be awesome. Would love to see that. I hate to say it, but I imagine Ilia probably takes it away just because he's so unbelievably technical. But if Justin can do his leg kick thing against Ilia, that would probably really slow that guy down. I imagine that would probably be a huge game plan because Gaethje's leg kicks are brutal. So, and then ideally, here's what I would like to see. Islam loses to JDM, right? Then you do like JDM versus Sean Brady if Sean Brady beats Morales. That would be my ideal. Is it middleweight or welterweight? I can never remember. Welterweight, right? Yeah, welterweight. That would be my ideal way the welterweight division shakes out at the top. Ilia, Justin fight. Islam comes down to fight the winner of that. Because I like either one of those matchups for Islam. I think Gaethje's a great matchup, and everyone knows that Ilia's a great matchup, and they've got that history, and they're talking crap to each other, trying to fight for that pound-for-pound number one spot, which I don't even know who owns it right now. Ilia does. And then Makhachev is number 2. So if Ilia wins, that's great. You've got the pound-for-pound fight there, but if Islam comes down, obviously he's got to fight the champion, Justin. And I will say, I've felt this way about 2 fighters with Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. These guys do not need to defend the belt to... Let me back up real quick. If Justin... Let me try this one more time. I'm going to try and get a clip here that I can post on Instagram. I feel very passionate about this. I do not think that if Justin wins the belt from Ilia, if they do this fight, if Justin wins the belt for Ilia, that he needs to go on a huge title run defense. I think that he has an incredible resume. He's beat a lot of really good guys. And if he wants to go for the title run, like, by all means, go for it. Go for the defenses, whatever it may be. But Dustin's probably a better example because Dustin's resume was so insane, and his way to get to the belt, if he beat Islam, he could have retired that night, and that could have been it. And I would have been satisfied, would have called him the greatest fighter in the world, greatest fighter in UFC history. It's probably being dramatic. But like there are several guys in the UFC who do not need to have a long title reign or a long title defense. Yeah, like they don't need to have a lot of title defenses to solidify them as a world champion and a great world champion, because they have either fought their way up there several times and cleaned out the division, which Dustin Poirier has and Justin Gaethje has. Like Justin Gaethje, let's see. Justin's fought Oliveira. He fought Holloway. Lost to both, obviously. He fought Faziev. Beat Michael Chandler. And who else has Justin fought? Anyways, there's just like several guys, especially in a division like the lightweight division, where you've got so many contenders at any point in time. And I think it's this way with the featherweight division as well. There's actually a lot of divisions like this right now, where it's like to get up to the top is a feat. And like, if you stay, like, I feel like if you win, there are certain divisions where if you win and you defend in that division several times, you should be pound for pound number one. No doubt. Like if Gaethje was to go up and defend like maybe twice or 3 times, like pound for pound number one, forget it. He's the greatest. But like you can't call that for the middle. Like I wouldn't call that for the middleweight division. If Imavov goes up and you know beats Chimaev and gets the belt, I'm not calling him pound for pound number one because he hasn't beat like these super notable, super crazy killers. In my opinion, he's got to have more title defenses to convince me to be a pound for pound number one. And same thing at lightweight and heavyweight, right? But I think there are. And flyweight, I'll say, but there are like several divisions where the top 10 is just so unbelievably stacked that it's like, man, if you can climb your way up through the top 10, win the title, and if you've been around long enough, like a Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier, I'm just like, dude, right off in the sunset, you did what you came here to do, and that's win the title. So, really love stories like that, but That's how I feel. If Dustin Poirier would have won off of Islam Makhachev, he would have been the greatest lightweight champion of all time, in my opinion. I think that is like, I think his resume is just stacked. Like, man, there's a lot of Dustin Poirier glazing going on in this episode. I've literally wanted to do just like a why Dustin Poirier is one of the greatest of all time episodes and the greatest fighter to never win a belt. But like, his resume is just so unbelievable. It's like he could have gotten the belt, retired, ran off to the sunset. I'm the world champion. I'm the best in the world. Fully believe that, right? Fully believe that. And it's crazy because it's like Islam has done that in the lightweight division after everything I just said, but it's like so many asterisks next to his title defenses that it's like no one should have this many. Like, I don't even know who the last I'd have to go look at it, but no one should have that many defenses in the lightweight division because it's just so crazy. It should be like maybe 1 or 2 defenses and then it's rotating because those guys are just such killers. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm saying no. I'm not even talking to anyone right now, but you know what I mean. It's just a very interesting. They're just tough divisions. They're tough divisions, and they're tough divisions to stay at the top of. And like, you have to be so good and so on your A game in the bantamweight, featherweight, and lightweight division that when you get to the top, you truly are one of the greatest in the world. And so, except for you, Islam, but. Yeah, so that's what I got. I think I covered all my bases here that I wanted to. Now that I've spent about an hour and a half here at the microphone recording practically 2 episodes, I'm currently on minute 41 here. So hopefully it was a good episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. Heavybagheroes.com if you want to check out the shop. Got these long sleeve, hooded long sleeves. Got the script logo. Freaking, I love this one. This one's one of my favorite prints that we have. It's super comfortable, really breathable. I like to wear it whenever I golf, and it's like just a little bit chilly outside. Don't want to wear a t-shirt, but don't want to wear a heavy jacket or anything like that. I think it looks really good. I really love the way the script logo stuff turned out. But heavybagheroes.com, check out the shop, check out the merch. Gonna have some really cool things coming here soon. So, really excited about it. And I'm gonna save y'all. And I'm not going to ramble on about it as I have for the past several episodes. And we're going to end the episode, and I'm going to go to bed. Good night, everybody. God bless.